back to another YouTube video today, guys. And I'm gonna have to say, if my hair looks different, I know you guys notice that. Why you guys keep staring? Like, I don't think you guys know how much I catch on very quickly. Cause like, look, y'all already staring at my hair. So yeah. Yeah, they did some horrible things to my hair. They cut it off. They said it was ugly, that I didn't need it anymore. I started crying, honestly, because I lost my hair. It was growing beautiful too. But that's besides the point. We're reacting to some Tweaker Geographic, not the videos. But I've been seeing this guy surface around the TikTok or whatever. And I only seen about one of his videos, and it had me dying laughing. So I was like, sure, why not? Why can't we just react to some Tweaker Geographic? Because obviously, he got some good things in store for us. So yeah, also, I wanted to shout out to my 3 new subscribers. I couldn't find your guys' names anywhere when I was looking at the channel yesterday. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to get any subscribers. I thought it was just simply stopping at the videos, but apparently some of you guys do subscribe, so I really do appreciate that. And I hope you guys enjoy the channel and what I put out, and how much of the energy mysticism that I'm gonna be spreading throughout my videos. So yeah, also this video, did I say video? I meant to say this video might release before one of my other videos, cause I think I recorded a video like 2 a.m. something in the morning, 2-3 a.m. something in the morning. So yeah, that's about 3 hours of recording, just agonizing, sitting there, and it was pretty funny. So yeah, let's get into some Tweaker Geographic and see what this guy has in store for us. Man, I feel like this is gonna be good already. And if you hear my air conditioner, yes, I don't know what to do until I like get perfect editing software. So yeah, this would be technically my 3rd video. So yeah, only 2 more. Then I can go on a little break, because if you guys don't know, the more you guys keep subscribing, the more I'ma leave. Oh no, the more I'ma keep coming back. So yeah, keep subscribing, keep viewing my videos. I'ma come back. I'm like a little leech. Once you cut a certain part of my body, I stay attached for a long time. So yeah, also thank you to our 3 subscribers that we just got to the channel. Hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, let's get into some Tweaker Geographic.
Episode of Tweaker Geographic.
Oh snap! First off, volume problems.
Deep in the urban wilderness, we encounter the hydrant yogi, beginning her afternoon wellness routine. While most humans require yoga mats and peaceful music, she requires only a fire hydrant and 600 gallons of spiritual pressure. She begins with the ancient pose known as downward facing hydrant. Notice the remarkable balance. The rushing water allows her to cleanse the body, the mind, and apparently half the sidewalk. Her chakras are aligned, and the water department has been notified.
The water department is crazy. But yeah, her chakra was defined. Alright, yeah, we can say something was being activated that day. It wasn't her chakra, it was just her sanity. As we go down.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, today we observe one of North America's most ambitious urban architects, a man who has rejected both zoning laws and basic survival instincts. Predators are scarce at this altitude. The only real threats are gravity, utility workers, and the occasional squirrel demanding rent. On this episode,
he got squirrels demanding the rent from him is crazy. And how you even build? I've climbed many trees in my life. And I swear to God, if one of y'all go in the comments calling me a damn monkey, yes, I will be sending the same people who work for Steam support services to your house. I will file a false report on you if you call me a monkey in my comments. Anyways, yeah. How you gonna... Yeah, I see why the squirrels are demanding rent. You over here sitting in the tree where my nuts come from, and you over here sleeping rent free, and you think I'm not finna tax you for it? You gonna have to give me some green, boy, if you want to stay up in here. Oh, he got 137 episodes. Well, 38.
Episode of Tweaker Geographic. Today we observe, on this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we witness a lone specimen armed with one of the most dangerous weapons known to man, the anti-sobriety missile.
What the hell is that?
Nothing besides tape and faith, this tweaker fires 3 shots straight in the air, hoping to take out one of the local rehab facilities to let the other fellow tweakers escape and get back on the streets. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic...
Oh, yeah! He up in his own kind. To a big start. Man, excuse me.
Episode of Tweaker Geographic. We observe a breathtaking display of cup fu, demonstrated by the elusive Big Gulp Whisperer. While spectators search for invisible strings, our specimen searches for his next dollar. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe a
That's the one tweaker I haven't seen so far, so I can't complain.
By the elusive. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we discover Connor Methgregor, a fascinating specimen resembling the legendary Irish warrior, but with fewer championships, more chaos, and an ecosystem fueled entirely by bad decisions. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we witness Grandpa play...
What is that attire? He looked like he just escaped a mental facility with the way he got that robe tied to him. And some heels?
...and Grandma strutting toward the nail salon in a pair of...
That's a woman?
A rare display of confidence in the wild. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we witness On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, with no fishing rod in sight, this specimen has become the world's first human lure. Researchers witness a rare human-seal connection, or as scientists call it, a sure thing. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, somewhere in the concrete wild, these gas prices have people doing the absolute most. This lone specimen is seen throwing it back in traffic in broad daylight. In the concrete wild, confidence.
Yeah, you need a sugar mama in your life. Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah, he just wants somebody who can take care of him, man. Yeah, we need a lot more sugar mamas, bro. Come get these men off the street. They just going crazy. They trying to be more feminine, bro. Just come get them. Come get them, bro. Come get them.
Confidence is key for survival. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we spot Gammore. Gammore is seen doing a dance move researchers call the Southside Shuffle while completely inebriated at a crosswalk. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we meet Private Matthew, the first military-grade tweaker ever discovered by researchers. This new elite class has skills such as tactical tweaking, advanced pacing, and expert-level parking lot reconnaissance. A truly remarkable specimen, and apparently a highly motivated one. On this episode...
Okay. Wow.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we encounter another specimen attempting the ancient art of limbo. Having successfully cleared an obstacle,
He looks like one of those World War Z zombies, bro. If y'all haven't seen World War Z, y'all should go watch it, bro. The zombies are funny in that movie, bro. He like them one dudes for that the baby music video. When they was hitting that Michael Jackson shuffle. Oh my god, that's what he's trying to do. He's still stuck in the 1980s.
That doesn't exist. The specimen rises, apparently celebrating its remarkable victory over absolutely nothing. On this episode...
Over absolutely nothing, bro. Absolutely nothing.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe a specimen attempting to enter a new habitat, the local gas station parking lot. However, the territory owner detects the invasion and deploys the legendary yellow mop bucket defense. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic...
That's not even property. That's not even trespassing on public property. Or private property or whatever, bro. That's just him going to a gas station and being a crackhead. Like, dude, what are we talking about?
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, observe the sidewalk wanderer, shirt missing, confidence unlimited. It moves with the certainty of someone who has never once questioned a bad decision. Every 12 feet it discovers an invisible emergency, argues with it, loses, then marches on like nothing happened. Its route follows no known laws of logic, physics, or urban planning. Nearby pigeons quietly reconsider living in the city. On this episode of
Yeah, if I seen my little niglet trying to go towards... If I was a bird seeing one of my little niglets trying to go towards a human, talking about look at that human, and I see him doing some shit like that, yeah, we switching cities. Let's go to Ohio. Ohio's probably better than this. Not 2021 or 2022 Ohio, because we all know what happened. But yeah, what's this one?
Of Tweaker Geographic. This specimen, known as the cracrobat, has just been notified that $1 is approaching. Watch closely. The specimen immediately enters cracrobatics. 3 flawless backflips later, researchers confirm the exchange rate is now 3 flips per dollar. On this
$3 per flip is what he's saying? In cracrobatics. Oh my god, what do I sign up, bro? Like, if you're getting jacked for cracrobatics, then yeah, I gotta sign up, bro. I need that type of athleticism in my life, because best believe, yeah.
This episode of Tweaker Geographic. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we have found the legendary Tony Spark. He designed his armor for one purpose, to reach places no ordinary person could. Rooftops, abandoned factories, forgotten radio towers. If it looked impossible to get there, he'd find a way. His suit is an engineering marvel built from salvaged materials, with every weld, bolt, and circuit carefully planned. It's proof that brilliant craftsmanship can come from the most unlikely workshop. On this episode of...
Sometimes I genuinely question, like, do these people, like, you have to get bored to a certain point, and I know based off experience, I've been there. I built random stuff because I was bored. I built an AK out of Legos using my own thoughts. I didn't even have to use a box, and this was all when I was 10, bro. But you're doing this type of stuff as an adult. Come on, man. Come on, do we not have a job to go to? Do we not have video games or something to play? You hate to see it, but this is what it's going to. Got Avengers everywhere. You got Avengers, especially in New York, when they had that whole FIFA thing going on. Oh, I know people was mad when France lost too. They flipped France upside down. And especially if you haven't seen if you didn't see, I forgot who France went against. I think it was maybe Argentina. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, they flipped that city upside down, and then they did. New York had it worse. I think New York had it way worse, bro. Like, I'm telling you, they had New York looking like Gotham City, bro, which was crazy too. I would have been like, oh hell no, we gotta get the hell up out of here. I heard they was busting windows open, but I'm glad they cleaned it up. Now they got Marbury, whatever his name is, as the president. They calling him like they be calling Steam support services. Talking about something. Hey, we got a pothole. Can you fix it? Next day it's fixed later. I've been seeing him all over TikTok, bro. And this, you want to know what else makes this worse? Is because that new Marvel show, something Ironheart. Yes, Ironheart. Man, I know a majority of Iron Man fans hated that shit, bro. But I gotta give credit where it's due. They did try to make it original, and some of the stuff that came from Marvel or Ironheart was original in a sense, but the suit, the whole suit thing wasn't original. It just wasn't original. If you're gonna make a show about a black female who carries the mantle of Iron Man after Tony Stark dying, and then base her whole personality around being like Iron Man, it just makes the whole plot stale, which makes this worse and what pisses me off, because I got done watching about the whole entire when it first came out. I think it came out with like 5 episodes or whatever, and it just kept pissing me off, bro. Like, I get the whole idea of an energy-based suit, you know, without the arc reactor planted in your chest, but it just doesn't leave the same impact, though. Like, we can't lie, it doesn't leave the same impact. But yeah, that's what makes this so much worse, man.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we spotted the rare Fent Fairy. Unlike her dental counterpart, she doesn't leave money under your pillow. She leaves confusion, missing belongings, and a mystery nobody remembers creating. According to the legend, the Fent Fairy appears wherever addiction lives. She's said to drift through motel parking lots, abandoned strip malls, gas stations at 3 a.m., and alleyways lit by flickering streetlights. On this
is why I want to help people. Hey, gotta get them out there, off the streets and out of that life. Can't have them living like that. But I wish Trump would take his time and just try and help people, instead of just trying to make rich people who are already rich more rich. Like, come on.
Episode.
But no, he just wants to bomb everybody. Yeah, we're just gonna bomb Iran. You know, we hate Khomeini. I support Epstein. Yeah, Like, bro, come on, we get it. Like, you hate homeless people, but you also hate homeless black people. Anyways, sorry for losing my temper. I just hate them.
Of Tweaker Geographic. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe an UNC riding in the back of a pickup truck, clinging to several mattresses. Experts believe he's either helping a friend move.
Those mattresses have roaches and bed bugs in them. Look at those stains. Those are either stains from ejaculating, or I'ma just say hardcore workouts. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Because YouTube will send me to the shadow realm if I actually say the word. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's a stowaway.
Move, or making a rapid habitat relocation before the landlord returns. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, watch closely as this lone specimen is seen drinking beer directly from garbage cans. This backwash bandit is doing anything to get a buzz, but the only thing he will be catching is an infection. In the concrete wild, sobriety is not ideal. On this...
You remind me of that one I almost said raccoon. He reminds me of that one raccoon with the messed up spine who just goes around doing random shit. Have you guys seen him? I don't know. But yeah, he goes around just doing random stuff, bro. I love him. Man.
This episode of Tweaker Geographic. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe a rare specimen in hibernation, built like a question mark with no answers. Researchers believe that once it awakens, it will make its annual migration to the local convenience store where the rest of the pack can be found. On this episode of
It's all about reconnecting, guys.
Tweaker Geographic, we observe the dumpster goblin tweaker, a rare species known for its ability to locate discarded treasures using methalocation. Once activated, the creature enters a primitive scavenging ritual, searching the urban wilderness for forgotten valuables. Experts warn no dumpster is safe once this creature begins its hunt. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers have discovered a woodland tweaker attempting methasynthesis, turning...
Methasynthesis. Okay. So does he evolve from a crackhead to a meth head? Because if so, I want to see how that process works. Is it like just him basically going into a sticky cocoon type? I skipped the whole
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers have discovered a woodland tweaker attempting methasynthesis, turning absolutely nothing into unlimited energy. Experts are divided, tranquilize and return him to the urban city, or let nature take its course. On this episode,
I say let nature take its course. Like, when we do things like artificial, like when we tamper with the weather and stuff by pollution and like throwing our trash out into the environment in public and stuff, and oceans, like it's having a bad side effect. Of course, we don't do it on purpose, but I'm gonna say it. YouTube, don't make it come off as racist, okay? Okay, don't make it come off as racist. But when it comes to black people and white people, black people do it more than white people, based off personal experience. But what I will say is there's a 99%, well, not 99, more of a 80-70% of black people who don't do it. So I'll give it where credit is due. And then when it comes to like white people, I don't want to say white people because it sounds racist, and I don't like talking about these type of things, but we have to be honest with ourselves now and then. So I'm being honest now. So when it comes to white people, a majority of white people do it as often, but more as often as black people do it. So I'm not saying as in the sense where they'll deliberately do it, because there's other other colored people who would go back and clean up the trash and pick it up and just throw it in the trash like a normal person. So I'm not saying it to come off as racist or like choose a side, because I don't like choosing sides. But when it comes to certain people, yes, they do it on purpose. They do it as a sign of what, dominance or whatever. And then this is like 2026 now. Of course we care about the environment now that we see that it's getting polluted. So yeah, we're kind of technically 200 years ish late. So yeah, but it's all good. We can still keep trying to pick up trash, but people just, a majority of the people who pick up the trash, there's more people out there, double the amount that pick up the trash, who will just keep throwing more trash in the ocean. or who will just keep losing stuff in the ocean. So yeah, we can keep trying, but it won't work. We should have did that 100 years before, but honestly, we didn't have the technology back then. So yeah.
Episode of Tweaker Geographic. A lone tweaker emerges outside the gas station with his hands held high. The ritual has begun. Moments later, he starts headbanging at absolutely nothing, attempting to summon the Marlborough spirits. The ritual works. He immediately begins leaping into the air with his hands raised, celebrating a victory no one else can see.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping. Man, I love that Fortnite emote, bro. Somebody give that to me, please.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers...
Oh, Grandma Odie, bro. I seen her, bro. No. If y'all don't know who Grandma Odie is, go to TikTok, bro. I think Grandma Odie was her name, bro. Man, I hope her grandson can find peace, bro. I genuinely hope. Oh my God, that's who he reminded me of. Man, Grandma Odie was funny, bro. May her soul rest in peace, dude. May her soul rest in peace. Bro, I used to watch those videos, dude. They used to have me cracking up when she used to growl at her son, bro. Man, go check out her grandson's channel though, or her channel. I think it's her grandson's channel since she passed away now or whatever. So yeah, you guys should go check out her channel though. Rest in peace, her soul.
Scientists have discovered a rare confrontation-seeking specimen in its natural habitat. The wild tweaker enters the store immediately.
Oh no, he turned into a zombie. You gotta shoot that nigga. His eyes are already turning red. That's every sign in every zombie movie. Shoot that nigga on sight, bro.
Disturbing the ecosystem, knocking over aisles, and creating mass confusion.
Is that meth on his... Oh no, that's just crack.
Doesn't shop for products. It shops for problems. On this
I think that might, yeah, he was probably foaming at the mouth. I think that's what that was. He might got rabies.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, pure chaos arises as a local tweaker leaps onto a police vehicle. This is a clear territorial flame.
Wait, did he pull out pepper spray? Did he pull out pepper spray, my nigga? He pulled out pepper spray. Oh, that's funny. You telling me I jumped on top of a car, so you pulled out pepper spray thinking it was gonna work on me?
On this episode,
what the hell just happened?
On this episode of Tweak,
bro,
dominance has been asserted. Mace and other weaponry are being used to take down the...
Oh, that's not pepper spray. That's something worse.
The tweaker tranquilizer, a rookie mistake in the concrete wild. After a few more strikes from completely incompetent authorities, the subject is subdued. Back to rehab he goes. On this episode of...
Back to rehab you go is crazy.
Of Tweaker Geographic, this YN discovered that tweakers don't believe in fair fights. The local crackivore immediately latched on like a crocodile performing a death roll, determined to drag its prey into the train tracks.
Hey yo, this is what I was talking about. This is what goes down in New York. This might be New York. I don't know.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, what in the Finding Nemo is this? Researchers claim this to be the Gulf Coast crackfish, built from stolen fishing nets, several bikes, and assorted metal. This tweaker has taken fish are friends, not food, to a whole new level.
Literally, bro.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers discover that the now open sign wasn't the grand opening, it was the performance. This shirtless specimen appears to believe every customer deserves a free halftime show. Researchers conclude the hiring manager has some explaining to do. On this episode of Tweaker...
Yeah. I think I'll give credit where it's due. He's trying. He's just using the wrong methods.
Geographic. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers observe the concrete chariot tweaker transporting an empty wheelchair across the concrete plains. Mid-migration, the specimen enters a state of hibernation. This dormant phase can last anywhere from 3 seconds to 3 business days.
That's a pretty long time.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we observe a lost tweaker wearing only his underwear and carrying a tweaker artifact, a lawn-mower blade. Researchers believe it's used to gather resources. Like most of the species, he appears to be following a migration route known only to himself. On this episode,
I think it's because it's summer. These people are just tweaking out. They probably looking for water. That's what's probably going on. Except for that Iron Man man, he wasn't he wasn't looking for water. He was looking for Thanos, or Thuggos, as we might call him. Yeah, he was gonna go to the hood and start looking for Thuggos, while Thuggos was collecting the 6 Infinity Stones. But yeah, oh my God, man. It's probably because of the heat. You'll never know. It's probably because of the heat. They're just tweaking out because of the heat. I know that from experience. I started tweaking out from the sun heat a few weeks ago, actually.
On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, researchers stumble upon the infamous crack-whack, a highly territorial subject engaging in what scientists call aggressive self-isolation rituals. At first, they assume it's the nearby Mike's Hard Lemonade affecting this behavior, before it senses movement and activates its defense mechanism, the blanket cloak of denial, said to block both vision and accountability. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, we witness the rare phenomenon known as tweaker hibernation. Notice the sleeping position known as crackrobatics. But before long, researchers accidentally startle the creature and it immediately begins its cracktivities, successfully scaring off the researchers before returning to its hibernation. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, I would pay to have this level of confidence. Notice the physique, disciplined, impressive, but then the cigarette. To some people this is considered a crosswalk, but in the concrete wild, it is more than that. It is a Tweaker's Got Talent auditioning stage. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, I would pay to have this level of confidence. Notice the physique. On this episode of Tweaker Geographic, grand theft of a child's bicycle is a very common occurrence here in the concrete jungle. The subject is seen peddling the stolen property to the local Tweak-O Bell, but this story only ends with the Tweaker police and a mandatory Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. On this episode of Tweaker...
Alright, I think that's where we're going to stop. Anywho, I enjoy some Tweaker Geographic, but I'm kind of running on a time limit here. So if you guys enjoy some Tweaker... I burped, excuse me. If you guys enjoyed some Tweaker Geographic with me today, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you want a part 2. Or I'll do it based off the views of this video. But, also a few more things. Thank you to my 3 new subscribers. It really means a lot that you guys are subscribing, and this is the first time I actually gained subscribers within my last few within 2 years actually. So yeah, that's huge growth to me. So yeah, and thank you once again for the 60 viewers on the offensive ideas video. Yeah, it really meant a lot to me. So yeah, anyways, I must go to the Shadow Realm. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. It really means a lot. And I'll just work on my next video after this one. So, yeah. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. But secret.